Do you ever find yourself overreacting, maybe towards your kids or your partner, and upon later reflection, you're not even sure why you overreacted? Or maybe you find yourself having issues with coworkers, and it's starting to become a pattern, and you're not sure why. If this sounds like you may be lacking the ability to identify your emotions effectively, and as a result, you may have low self-awareness. The good news is, this is a skill that can be developed. Stick around and I'll teach you how to develop this skill. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Growth Quest. Today, we're going to talk about self-awareness. High self-awareness and the ability to identify what you are feeling on a consistent basis is going to be key to leveling up in life. So what exactly is self-awareness? Self-awareness is how an individual experiences and understands their own character, feelings, motives, and desires. Today, we're going to focus on how to recognize, evaluate, express, and regulate our emotions effectively. First, let's talk about why lacking self-awareness and the ability to regulate and identify your emotions is problematic. So one who struggles with self-awareness and the ability to recognize their emotions may react impulsively to stressful situations, often overreacting in anger, struggle with communication, leading to conflict with other people, often our coworkers or our significant others. They may have a difficult time empathizing with other people, relating to others when they are struggling with strong emotions, and they may deal with frustration when they're feeling strong emotions themselves and they can't identify exactly why they are feeling that way. So here's the deal. If you cannot self-regulate and identify your emotions effectively and stay in control in stressful situations, you will have a hard time achieving the big goals that you have in your life. And this is why high self-awareness and the ability to recognize what you're feeling is so important when it comes to leveling up in life. In my earlier years, I struggled with some problematic behaviors. And a big part of the reason I struggled with these so much is because I had a hard time recognizing what I was feeling, and I was unable to make the connection that my negative feelings, my anxiety, my stress were leading me to act out in problematic ways. Over time, as I learned to develop the skill of recognizing my emotions, I was able to identify what I was feeling before I ended up in my problematic behaviors, and this allowed me to course correct. So how exactly do we build self-awareness and develop the skill of recognizing what we're feeling and recognizing what our emotions are and self-regulating? So I'm going to give you 3 things you all can do that will help you develop this skill. And the first one is you need to observe what you're feeling. Anytime you're feeling a strong emotion, you must pause and take the time and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? So I've included a feeling scale that you all can use when you are developing this ability that's really going to help you identify what you're feeling quickly. So let's go ahead and take a look at this feeling scale real quick. The feeling scale has 5 different zones. Let's go ahead and look at each zone individually. The first zone is mostly positive feelings. This is when you're feeling balanced, you're feeling happy, joyful, you're feeling centered, you're feeling motivated, you feel like you can accomplish a lot, your communication is good with other people, and overall things are good. The second zone is you're starting to feel a little off. So in this zone, you may feel a little distracted, you may start to procrastinate a little bit, you may have a hard time concentrating, you may feel a low level of anxiety, and this is going to lead to the third zone, which is getting worked up. Now, in this zone, you may feel like you have a hard time relaxing. You may feel super busy, like you're always in a hurry, like you have too many things on your to-do list. You can't catch up. You may have a hard time listening to other people and maybe just feeling frustrated overall. Fourth zone is the anger zone. So in this zone, you're going to start to feel irritable. You may overreact to certain situations. You may have a lot of arguments with your partner or your children or coworkers. You may start to blame other people for your problems. You may start to feel like you're alone. And in this zone, this is where you can really start to really hurt other people's feelings when you overreact. And the last and final zone is the unmanageable zone. And this is where life just becomes unmanageable. You're feeling depressed, overwhelmed. You may be feeling hopeless. You may want to cope in unhealthy ways, and you may just be in survival mode. So the goal here is to just use this scale to identify what zone you're in and what are you feeling in this moment. So the second step in developing this skill is to ask yourself, how does this affect me and how does this affect other people? And by asking yourself these two questions, this is going to give you insight into how your emotions are controlling you and leading to certain behaviors. This will also help you see yourself from other people's perspective, and it's going to help you see how your emotions and behaviors affect other people. So let's work through an example here. Let's say you look at the feeling scale, and after looking at this for a minute, you've identified that you're in the anger zone, zone 4, and you have identified that you have been overreacting. So you're going to ask yourself, how does this affect me? So when I overreact, I push other people away, I isolate, I may blame other people for my problems, I may get defensive, I may be critical of other people, and this ultimately is going to make it difficult for me to do my job. It's going to make it difficult to communicate with my partner well. And next, you want to ask yourself, how does this affect other people? So when I'm overreacting, I may be saying things to other people that aren't true, and I'm saying them out of anger. I'm most likely hurting other people's feelings. I'm pushing them away. I'm making them not want to work with me because I'm being difficult. And this kind of gives you a perspective of how other people see you and how your emotions are affecting other people. Okay, so the third and last thing you want to do is ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And initially, this may be very hard to identify for you if you're not used to identifying what you're feeling. But this is going to be very important in identifying what is driving your behaviors. So let's say you're in the anger zone and you're overreacting, and you ask yourself, why am I overreacting? Is it because you want to push other people away? You want to isolate? Do you just need some time to yourself to collect your thoughts? Were you offended by somebody's comment because they touched on an insecurity of yours? Are you feeling anxious because you're procrastinating? And are you procrastinating because you have a fear of failing in that task? So the goal here is to find out what is behind your emotions. These are going to be some of the questions that you're going to have to ask yourself when you're identifying, why am I feeling this way? You're going to have to dig a little deep here. So like I said, this may be a little frustrating at first, but remember, this is going to get easier over time, just like any other skill that you develop. As you practice, it's going to get easier to identify your feelings and emotions. And once you do start to get good at this, you're going to be able to course correct and prevent some overreacting in the future, which is really going to help you in most of your relationships in your life. So here's a couple useful tips that you guys can use as you begin to develop this skill. First and foremost, we've talked about this one a lot, is journaling. I would recommend using this feeling scale on a daily basis. Maybe right before you go to bed, do a little bit of journaling and ask yourself, where did I fall on this scale today? And what was I feeling today? Another tip that you guys can use is to work on your communication skills. So specifically, work on actively listening to other people. So a lot of people get caught up in how they want to respond to someone before they even finish talking, and they really stop listening to what that person is saying. So what you want to do here is, instead of thinking about how you want to respond, just focus on what the person is saying and really, really try and understand where they're coming from. Which leads into the next tip here, which is try and see things from other people's perspective and really try and see where they're coming from. Sometimes we write people off, especially if they have a certain reputation. But often, if we just take the time to listen and see where they're coming from, we may have a better understanding of what they're trying to accomplish, and we may have a better time working with that person and having a good outcome. Another good tip here is to give other people the benefit of the doubt. An example I like to use here is anytime I'm feeling road rage, I like to give that person the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they have a family emergency. Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Maybe they didn't even realize that the mistake that they made, maybe they didn't realize they cut you off. They didn't see you. I like to remind myself that I've made plenty of mistakes when I'm on the road, so I need to give that other person some grace as well. Another useful tip here is to practice mindfulness. We've talked about this one a little bit as well. A very, very effective tool here is deep breathing. Anytime you find yourself in a very stressful situation, or you find yourself starting to get worked up or getting into the anger zone, if you can focus on your breath and do some real quick breath work, it's going to really help you calm down very quickly. And this tiny little tactic makes such a difference. And one more useful tip here is to just take a time out. It's okay to take a time out if you're in a very heated conversation. Let's say 5, 10, 15 minutes. Take some time to collect your thoughts. Give yourself time to calm back down, practice some deep breathing, and then you'll be in a much better headspace when you come back to the situation. Okay, guys, perfecting this skill is going to lead to greater self-control. And this is going to allow you to navigate some very big challenges in your life, which is ultimately going to lead to very big accomplishments. So I encourage you all to download the feeling scale. I will attach that in the description below. Start practicing recognizing your emotions on a daily basis. This is going to help you improve your self-awareness. It's going to help you improve communication with other people, and it's going to help you stay in control in stressful situations. As always, I'm very proud of all of you for pursuing growth and working hard to level up in life. This is one more skill that's going to help you achieve big things. And I just want to say thank you all for supporting me and this channel and supporting my mission of helping you and other people build the skills and the mindset that you guys need to overcome challenges in life and level up. So I hope this channel is providing value for you all. If so, please like and subscribe, share this with your friends. This really helps me grow and helps me on my mission to help you all level up and live a happier and more fulfilling life. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.